Great. Thank you, Anne. Pleasure to be back here in Zurich to give you an update on Banyan Gold. We are a Yukon-focused gold exploration company. We are focused on building large-scale, what we think would be mineable assets. And there are presentations available in the back if you want a paper copy, and also out at the YMA booth. We will be making some forward-looking statements. We are an exploration company, so we're always very optimistic and certainly looking to tell people our story and convince you to invest in the Yukon. So why would you invest in Banyan? Well, we're creating value for our shareholders through exploration. We look for projects that have a few key attributes. One, they have to have a large scale. They have to have that potential both in the size of the land package and the type of geology, where they could have a multi-million ounce, plus 3 million ounces, I believe, is what you need in the Yukon. And we see that is possible in the Yukon. We have Victoria Gold, who's gone into production this last year, as you've heard from multiple speakers. And the Yukon is a jurisdiction where you can permit a project and take it all the way from exploration through to financing and building it. We have a very experienced team with a track record of success. We are also closely aligned with some other Yukon companies. As you see in the Yukon, we tend to collaborate to maximize the efficiencies as well as share technical knowledge. We share our knowledge with Victoria Gold and Alexco and our technical teams. I'm going to focus my talk today on the project which we just stopped drilling 2 days ago, and our team is still out cutting core and putting samples, which is quite unique. You'll see there's a bit of a perception that the Yukon is a summer-only project, but you'll note that it's November 5th, or maybe it's later than that, actually. It's late November, and we just finished drilling. So that's an exciting thing. And the reason we can do that is we have a year-round highway through our property, as well as a power line. Being closely aligned with Alexco, we can use their camp for accommodation, and that gives us a strategic advantage in being able to advance our project. We really are a year-round exploration story. The Yukon, you heard, has had lots of investment and attention over the last few years with investment by majors. You've heard that from various speakers today. You know about Victoria Gold going into production, and also the Keno Hill District, which was spoken about a couple of talks ago. Our share structure, we're really pleased to have a few key shareholders, some of the corporates in the Yukon, Victoria Gold at 6%, Alexco at 8%, and our most recent strategic investments by Osisko Gold Royalties. We're very pleased they're vetting our company and our team and making a strategic investment along with their accelerator model in our financing, which we just closed a couple of weeks ago, as well as Sprott. Our cash position will actually see us through 2020 with a small exploration program. That is after this cash position that you see here is actually after paying our drill contractor for this year's drilling. Our other shareholders are mostly people in the mining business. We're very pleased that numerous CEOs of mining companies and industry professionals participated in our last financing, and it was a non-brokered financing, so it really was because of the connections of our team that we were able to raise that almost $1.9 million in October of this year. I won't speak a lot about our team because it's a pretty short talk, but we are very closely aligned with Victoria Gold and Alexco. We get strategic advice from both Victoria Gold and Alexco on geology. Our board consists of Mark Aranto, who is with Victoria Gold and has been with that story really since the early days. I think he's been there 11 years now. So, he's seen that project all the way through. That gives us the experience of taking projects from exploration all the way through permitting. Steve Burleton was with GT Gold, and before that with Richmont Gold, which was taken out by Alamos. And we have David Reed, who's a very well-known mining lawyer, which gives us a broad range of experience. We also have some very sophisticated and well-known independent advisors to our company. We have 2 projects. I'm going to focus on our Oryx McQuestion project, which is the one up here to the north, adjacent to both Alexco and Victoria. It's a very large land package at over 92 square kilometers. This is really a story of consolidating an area. We heard that from some of the other stories, but really there's been known near-surface gold on this property since the time of the gold rush, and it's sat with intermittent exploration over the years from the likes of Newmont and even NovaGold over smaller portions of it. And it really was in 2017 when we were able to consolidate it that we were able to put together and really compile all that information. And this is the project which we just finished drilling on. I'm also going to give you a really brief snapshot of our Highland project, which is down near Watson Lake. We have an existing resource on that property of 236,000 ounces in the indicated category and 288,000 in the inferred category. It's also a very large property. We own it 100%. At 186 square kilometers, there's lots of room to find additional resources in that, and I'll speak to that a little bit later. So our Oryx McQuestion property, you can see us located there in orange. We're focused on the airstrip target and the power line target. We have a main highway and a power line right through the property. We also have Victoria Gold's substation located right near where we're drilling, and their all-season road also passes right through our property. We're able to stay in Alexco's camp, which is a beautiful facility, and use their core facility as one of our strategic investors, and that gives us the ability to work late into the season and actually year-round. Now, I'm going to show you a little video, and hopefully the technology works.
Banyan Gold is unique because our team has a tremendous amount of experience exploring, developing, and permitting in the Yukon. Our projects that we focus on have existing infrastructure. Our Oryx McQuestion project has a 3-phase power line through it, as well as the main access road to Victoria Gold's heap leach mine. Following up on our great drill results from 2019, where we both confirmed our geological model, as well as found some higher grade, which was our target, we're able to launch our newly commenced Phase 2 drill program on our Oryx McQuestion property. And we hope to have results come out throughout the winter and into January. Banyan Gold is a tremendous opportunity with lots of upside potential. We've got 2 solid gold projects which both have the potential for multi-million ounces, which both have existing infrastructure, and we've got the team that knows permitting, knows geology, and which can deliver.
Technology worked, isn't that great? Trying to reach new investors and using the new technology, we found that video is a really important way to tell our story and reach those the new and different markets of investors. Here's an image, which you also saw in that video, showing the airstrip zone and then the power line zone in the distance. Beneath it, you can see the block model that we developed over last year. The yellow unit is the calcareous unit, which is about 90 meters thick on average, with long intervals of 0.4 to 0.94 starting rate at surface. We focused on a Phase 1 drill program earlier this season to confirm that model, as well as to try to understand some of the higher grade. We were successful in that Phase 1 drilling, came back with some higher grade intercepts from Powerline, which you can see there, 5 grams over 5 meters, even 112 grams over 0.1. We also did some metallurgy from shake tests in 2018. They came back positive with at 68%, indicating some amenability to cyanide. We have more metallurgical work to do in the future, but at least a positive indication to start with. In 2019, in that Phase 1 drilling, we focused on the airstrip zone, and the goal really was to extend the 500 meters to the kilometer that you see in that box, drill that out to increase the known mineralization. There's some more results from the airstrip zone, and the results did confirm that the model is applicable, and now we stepped out with a second phase program, which we just completed to expand that from 500 meters to a kilometer, and also to continue to focus on that higher grade. We completed 3,300 meters of diamond drilling, along with another 500 meters of RC drilling. We will have results coming out in the coming weeks and through to January 2020, and the plan is to define a maiden resource in Q2 of 2020 based on those results. But this property is very large. This is just one of the targets. When we acquired the property, we knew we had to triage our target priorities and focus on a portion of it that we could advance quickly. The area that you saw is just this little red blip there. It's a gold-only anomaly to the northern part of the property. And when you look at the scale of our property, it's a very small target. We also have a large gold and arsenic. This is gold, this is arsenic anomaly. It's almost 10 square kilometers in the center of a property. We have some historic results from that, which we've compiled, and it's also one of our priority targets. It's not one that we're going to follow up on immediately, but it certainly has lots of potential to also build ounces. We know that there's some high-grade northwest trending veins, which a miner had taken out over 23 tons of 2-ounce plus material. That's located up near our McQuestion zone. It's a difficult target, a bit more of a needle in a haystack, but one which we hope to follow up on. There's nothing like being able to hand mine high-grade veins from surface to give you some extra ounces. We also knew that Newmont once held part of this property, and they'd hypothesized about the buried intrusive, which had created all this near-surface mineralization. So that's another target for us as well. And of course, we're right adjacent to metallic minerals in Alexco, so we do have the potential for high-grade silver, and that's a target which we can follow up on later down the road. Really quick snapshot on our Highland property. This is our second property, which we drilled out in 2018 and put out a new resource. You can see the resource out there. It's in a very small area of just 900 by 350 meters. It's also just a pinhead in the size of that large property, which is 186 square kilometers. It is open in all directions. Oxide recoveries are 86%. It's permitted. We believe this would be an open pit heap leach mineable project. There you can see the resource in green. That's 900 meters of strike length. That's where that roughly 500,000 ounces is. We've now traced that same structure up by another 1.25 kilometers, similar grades, similar thicknesses. So that's pretty exciting for being able to see the potential in this one area of the property. Our priority on that property for targets, while we have 18 kilometers of mineralized trend, we focus in on just the 9.5 kilometers where we have existing roads and known mineralization. There you can see that resource again. Fed rock samples up to 2.5 grams at our Cuz, and trench 6 meters of 4.4 down here at Montrose Ridge. This really is teed up for a very large exploration program. We're fully permitted for a large program, have 2 camps in there. We really are ready for either a strategic investor or an increased gold market where we can really get out and explore this. The targets are ready. So that's our story. We're really leveraged to the gold price with 2 high-quality projects. We'll have our drill results coming out through the winter and into January. We've validated our technical geological model on the property, and then we've made that new discovery using that model at Powerline, which is very exciting. We've got an existing resource. We're going to be putting out a second resource on our other property. And I think the Yukon will be getting attention as we see Victoria Gold successfully go into production and people start to recognize that. We have very strong technical and financing support from our strategic shareholders, and that'll certainly help us as we move forward. Thank you.
Thanks, Tara. Are there any questions?